What's the most rewarding feeling about working in minor hockey?
Smiles.
Yeah?
Yep. I just signed an extension with my job, and they were concerned I was spending too much time in the rink. And I said...
that's a good boss to have, or that's a good organization to work for.
I'm sitting there going like, hey, guys, I get it. I believe it's an organic job. It's a job, being a technical director of minor association of 700 plus kids, you're seeing a lot of hockey players. But on a Friday night when I'm sitting in Shearwater and I'm watching an Adam A game at 7 o'clock at night, and the kid scores, I have him on the ice on Monday or Tuesday, and I skate up to him and go, nice goal you had the other day. And he gives me a smile.
Yeah.
That's $100. That's $1,000, right?
Yeah.
So watching players get better, and it doesn't matter. People always get hung up at the top, but when you watch a lower level player progress, if they go from B to A, that's our NHL.
I love that. Yeah.
And if they go and there's always those players, that suddenly become something at an age that, where it matters. And really the age that matters is when you're over 16, 17. Up till then, it's
puberty.
Well, it's when hockey starts to get, I feel, important. You have regional events, you have opportunities to be drafted.
Yeah.
But there's no under 12 draft.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no under 12 national championship.
Yeah. It's tough for kids to understand that. I was one of those kids, cut from the max. Luke might have been one of those kids too, getting cut, and you go home, all your friends are wearing the major midget jacket, and you're just sitting in high school and you're fuck, what am I doing with my life? You question a lot of things because your whole life, you question, your whole life is dedicated to one thing, putting a puck in a net.
Yeah. And it's tough, and you're right. I mean, I went through some things with Luke. He was one of those AA, AAA guys.
Yeah.
Never AAA.
Yeah.
And, but yet I look at it, he never made a provincial team, but yet guys that made provincial team weren't playing hockey by 18. I love the way, there's another part, when you watch your kids do their sports, that to me is $1 million right there.
Is it? I don't know the feeling.
It's someday.
Yeah. We talked to Sean O'Brien about this, and he's just like, said the same thing.
Obi was a great podcaster, and it is true. My daughter was a figure skater.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, really tough sport. Individual sports are totally different than team sports.
Yeah.
The pressure. And in figure skating, you might have 4 to 5 competitions a year. So you think about hockey,
Really?
you got 4 to 5 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're training your tail off for a summer and all through the fall. And then your season's kind of over by March, but then you're starting back on for the next year, right?
Yeah.
You're really, your fall's important. And it's tough. It's tough on them. And, but at the same time, I think one of the things that I think my wife and I have expressed in our kids, do your best. Be your best. Be happy when you're your best. There's not a mark that says, oh, you got to play AAA. But if you're going to do it, you're going to work your tail off too.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I think that's both of them have took those attributes. They're working right now and they're not happy. They're working at the pub together. So.
They're not coming to PEI with you?
Yeah, they are.
Are you picking them up
they
after?
They wanted to leave earlier.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah. What kind of guidance do you give your daughter for figure skating? Like, does your wife know figure skating? Like, how do you guide a kid if you don't know the sport?
Well, that's probably the best way to be a parent, to be honest.
And what do you mean?
Not know the sport.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would frustrate the hell out of me not knowing it.
There was a thing called test day, so the skaters would have to go to a test.
Yeah.
And they would be doing stroking, a different type of dance. And my wife was a former skater in her day, and she coached some skating when she was at University of Acadia. And so she would get very uptight.
Yeah.
So it fed off on our daughter. So Catherine looked at me one day, can Dad take me to test day? So she'd go do her thing. I'd look at her coach. I'd shrug my shoulders. I go, up, down. How'd she do? And so we left and she passed, so good. We go home, almost like, let's get the ice cream cone.
Yeah.
And I didn't know a difference. It took me a long time between axle and flip and things like that. And these other parents, oh, my daughter's doing this or that. I was like, whatever, Yeah. I watched a young lady grow as a person, in confidence. And at the same time, have some real barriers there too. But it all works out in the wash, at the end of the day. She wants to get into coaching now, and she has done some coaching. Luke, unfortunately, is a little disillusioned, I think, at some points I'd love to get him out coaching with another young guy like a Brad McDonald.
Yeah.
Brad coaches in the Whalers Association now, and I think they'd work well together, but he's jaded by parents. Yeah. And that's pretty sad when you have a 27, almost 28 next week, your old son who would be a very good coach doesn't want to because of parents. And that's a sad thing to hear too.